Remember, don't like, share, or subscribe. What are you trying to do? Blow up the channel or something? I got enough on my plate. Welcome back. I hope you're enjoying Success and Health, Wealth, and Happiness. Well, again, we're taking another opportunity to comment on the social psychology of people, namely women, from the Whatever podcast, which is the absolute most wonderful resource that I draw from in concluding a lot of these irrational, illogical, delusional postulates of thought of the world, namely the women that Brian has on the Whatever podcast. So, of course, they're grading their looks, and there's not enough understanding about rational criterion of assessment of the self. Where do you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 with respect to your physical looks and self-love? These women are obviously deluded and confused by the question. Let's get busy.
Ask everyone to rate their looks on a scale of 1 to 10. Can't pick 7. Starting with you. Go ahead.
5.
Into the mics, guys.
My own looks?
Yeah, looks.
10.
Okay.
I don't know, 8.
Sure, I would have to say 10. Yeah, 10. I self-love. 6.
Like a 5.5.
I'll say 5.
Like 6.5.
Give myself a 5. Andrew.
4.
4. So we've got 10, 8.
Why do all the women
10,
laugh at that?
10.
Like, what? Am I way more attractive than I think I am? You should just look at me then and be like, Andrew, you're so handsome. It's ridiculous. Like, we just can't even control ourselves. Why else would they laugh? Is it less? Should it be a 3?
Andrew Wilson is such a straight-up man's man. I like Andrew. He kind of breaks things down real simply. Like, I'm a 4. Myself, I rate myself a 6, a 6.5, because I'm rational. I am just plugged into reality. I don't understand, and Andrew's going to get into it with the 2 Egyptian chicks in the back, the twin sisters in the blue. Because, and it's going to hurt your brain to watch this, because either they're just trying to be defiant, they're just trying to be disagreeable, or they're really dumb. They don't understand the question. It's trying to say, where do you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, your physical looks and beauty? I spent 17 years in the drug-free bodybuilding world. That's what you judge people on. The top 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then the winner. What are you looking at them? You're looking at symmetry. You're looking at conditioning. You're looking at muscular size. You're looking at balance. When you're judging women in women's fitness, physique, bikini, you're looking at facial beauty. And men know beauty. They don't have to decide it's Western beauty, it's Eastern beauty. Beauty is beauty. A hot broad is a hot broad. I don't understand what's so hard to understand. But they got to make it difficult for him. As you see, we're going to start spiraling down.
Just a 6, Andrew.
Yeah.
Why do people rate themselves less than a 10? Like, I'm curious
Yeah.
to why you guys think you're not.
That's a good question.
There's
So,
room for improvement. So,
yeah,
God
so what
made
we're
you
trying to
perfect.
ascertain is whether or not you think you're perfect.
You don't need any improvement
No,
at
it's
all.
not
Well, actually, Andrew, we're trying to ascertain if you're delusional.
Yeah, but that would be the claim of perfection.
Sure.
So anybody who would claim that they were perfect would be delusional.
Oh, you're
right?
saying 10
This would
you're saying
inside
10
of-
is perfect?
Yeah, so when we're rating a scale of 1 to 10, 10 is the max, right?
Yeah. Physically.
So
She said
yeah,
looks.
perfect, physically perfect. Can anything be above a 10?
Word perfect. I didn't say
Can
the word
can
perfect
anything
is
be
too.
okay? Well, then hang on. Just follow my logic. Can anything in the scale of 1 to 10 be higher than 10?
No,
So
but nobody's saying
right,
perfect.
So if 10 is the highest, that means that you're counting yourself among the elite, least percentile on planet Earth. I don't even know if there's a 10 which exists, but if there was, you're claiming that that is you. The most
No,
beautiful
I didn't
of the
see the
beautiful
question in
of
that
the
way.
beautiful.
I didn't see the question that way. I think everything is imperfect. So the word perfect to me doesn't stand in that question of physically 10. I think that everyone at this table is absolutely beautiful. So I would rate everyone here 10. including myself.
I think that's fair. So let's back up and kind of address
Because
the
I
claim.
don't believe
Again,
in
that's a good
perfection.
argument. Hang
You're
on.
using the word perfection as in that's 10.
You
10 is
know what?
perfection because that's your perception. That's
Now I
not my
understand
perception.
what.
All right, so let me give her a little bit of credit in that, yes, the world is always based upon our perceptions. Two people can look at an event, they can meet a person, and their judgment of that particular situation, that event, their meeting and interaction with a person can be completely based on their own personal perception. The sequence of events that have taken place in their lives, who's hurt them, what they believe, what they like, who they love, whatever, they're going to perceive things differently. Yes, that is true. I wrote a whole book of short stories that I called Perception. Okay, so I understand perception. We're not talking about perception in this case. We're talking about where do you find yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 as far as beauty is concerned, which really in reality, I don't understand what you don't understand the question. What would people rate you? What do you rate yourself? What do you think people would rate you? Okay, so you can't say that everybody sitting at that table is a 10 because none of them are a 10. They so happen to be, I'd probably put them at an 8, 7, 8, but I do really find myself to be fond of darker skinned women with black hair. I like that. But they're all not 10s. They're far from 10s. They're 6s through 8s in most cases based on what I could see. But let's keep going down the rabbit hole.
I get it. Now I understand what you mean by perfect. And I understand that you also are yielding to a God you consider only God to be perfect, right?
Yeah.
Is that correct? That's your standard of perfection, right?
Yes.
Both of you?
Yes.
I mean,
I can't
both?
take it seriously. I don't
Both?
Guys,
One?
into the mics, please.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so if you're only considering God perfect, that's fine, okay? Though I don't know how you would be able to ascertain the physical beauty of God, we will still assume that under your worldview, the physical beauty of God is a 10 along with every
I think
other
myself,
characteristic.
including everyone else, is not
because that is perfection.
perfectly physical. No.
Okay, I get it. But what I'm saying to you is that in this scale, we're only talking about physical characteristics. 10 being the highest possible, so let me
Yeah,
reframe.
10. I think everyone's a 10 up in here.
She says nobody is perfectly physical. Let me correct her grammar. Nobody is physically perfect. But yet, she's grading herself a 10, which is perfect. Does she understand the question? She hurts my brain. And it's only getting worse.
If 1,000 men, random, meaning, again, I can't emphasize this enough, random. In fact, repeat back the word random so I know that you know what I mean. Because I've asked this question a million times, I just need to know you know it. Yeah, random, okay. So 1,000 random men, they're at a fair, and you're in a beauty contest, and they bring you up. And they say, okay, guys, you can go from 1 to 10 on her beauty, okay? And the average of what all of you determine her beauty to be is what we'll go with. So this guy raises 2, this guy raises 4, this guy raises 7, this guy raises 10. What do you think the average, the collective of all 1,000 of the men would put you numerically?
We're going to start with you, and then we're going to ask you 4. Go ahead.
Who, me?
Yeah.
What I think that they would think of me.
Did you hear what he was saying?
Yeah. It's kind of a hard question to answer.
It is not a hard question to answer. Got 1,000 men. Some people will think you're attractive, some people won't. There's 1,000 people. The average is 500 people would think that you're maybe a 10. 500 people will think you're a 5. So that would put you at about a 7, maybe a 7.5. What do you think?
I want to say 10. Shit.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I freaking love black people. I love them. Shit. I'm a 10.
All right. What about you? You said 8. What would the 1,000 men give you?
Average? I don't know, maybe 7. Because I don't know. This is difficult because beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so.
That's why we have 1,000 beholders, and we're asking you to average what you think they'd say.
But I don't know their perception on beauty. If they like Western beauty, if they like blonde, blue
They like
hair.
Western beauty.
I'm not Western beauty.
Yeah, great. So anyway, they like Western beauty.
So then I wouldn't be I wouldn't
Into
apply
the
to
mic.
this. I wouldn't
Closer.
apply to this scenario because if people like Western beauty, that's blonde hair, blue eyes, lighter skin. I'm the opposite of that.
Okay, fine. They value Eastern beauty.
But she would be a 10.
I'd still be a 10. I view myself
It
as
just
a 10.
depends on what you
Self-love. I
love.
don't know.
Yeah.
These two are so annoying. And they're twins. You would think that you would divide by two the annoyance. They would share it between each other. But no, in two people, through mitosis that became two different people, one cell split, created two different people, they have an equal amount of irritation that comes with them. Unbelievable. What don't you understand? The perceptions in the eye of the whole beholder, beauty, whatever. So what do you think 1,000 guys would say? You're hot, you're not hot. What's so complicated about the question? I need a drink.
The question that you're asking is if there's 1,000 men, what is the average of, what is the rate that they're going to give you on average based off of the 1,000 men that are looking at you in the beauty pageant?
Yes.
Am I
Can you
taking,
answer
is that
my question?
correct? That's correct. Right?
Yeah,
They're gonna rate you a 10.
So answer the question. for the both
Depend,
of
like
you.
she said, depending on where we are, like if I'm in.
Okay, you're out
Middle
east.
East,
For
or
the
if I'm
love
in-
of God, give
You're
a
in
number.
you're in east. You're as east as you can go, or as central east, wherever the
No,
fuck
'cause
you
this
want. I don't
matters.
care.
That's why I'm like,
Whatever
it
you
has
think
to
it'll be.
Okay, yeah, if it was in my side of where I was raised, where I was blood born, then yeah, I would be a 10. But if I was in
You'd be a
America,
10 where?
where I was blood.
Where were you born?
Where's that?
Well, I'm Egyptian. We're full blood Egyptian.
You think it'd be a 10 in Egypt?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I already know that.
All right.
They need to play back this whole podcast and listen to themselves. They don't believe in perfection, but she says, oh, absolutely. In Egypt, I'd be a 10. Do you really think that? How can anybody think that? The hubris, the arrogance. It's just, this is the delusion. This is your brain on social media.
Whatever camera's the closest to you, look right at it and say,
Right here.
Andrew, I'm not delusional.
This camera.
Every man in Egypt would say I'm a 10.
I wouldn't. No, I'm not saying that because
Every
that's not.
man.
See, your words are very manipulative. You just said
Oh, no, they're
1,000.
not. If it's a
then you just
1,000 out of
said,
1,000,
every man.
you could.
But yeah, I
you
would
could
think that I would love
never have
to
a
think.
sample size higher than 1,000
I would
out
love
of
to
1,000
think that
saying
I would
something.
love to think that every man in Egypt finds me beautiful. Yes, I would love to think that. That is my
Well,
opinion
my
on
question isn't what
myself.
you'd like to think. My question is what you actually think.
your
That is
question
what I
isn't-
think.
your question
What I
isn't
like to
even-
think is what I think.
It's not even valid.
It's
Like,
about my
we don't
self-love
know-
and how
Why
I
isn't my
perceive
question
myself.
valid?
Because how are we supposed to know what other men think? I'm a woman. I don't have the mind
Well,
of a
I'm
man.
not.
I don't
I'm not
know.
asking you to know what
You
they
are
think.
asking me. You're asking me to. How would they judge me? How am I supposed to know?
Yeah, I'm just asking what you think they would guess.
I don't know. Whatever they guess. Like, you know what I
Okay.
mean?
I'm upgrading them. They're not only annoying, they're stupid also. What do you mean? You can't take a guess what men might think about you, what they might give you in terms of your physical beauty between 1 and 10? You can't venture a guess on this. This is too complicated for you. You need less TikTok.
It's an invalid
Okay.
question.
I'll take
It's
a
an
crack.
invalid question. Okay, hang on. I got it. It's an invalid question. If a bird hit that window doing 1,000 miles an hour, what do you think would happen?
They would die.
Oh, wait. Suddenly, when it comes to a hypothetical, you can, even though it hasn't happened, you don't know exactly
get
what would
injured.
happen. You can somehow make a guess as to what would happen. But in this case, your brain, it just is empty. You have no idea what they'd ever say.
You're hurting my brain.
Yeah, I'm sure. And every Egyptian man would agree with me.
Amen, Andrew. Amen.
9. Okay. So still 10, 9, 9. Somebody gonna tell him? Somebody telling Madison? You want to tell him?
All right, so to conclude part one of what's going to be a couple of parts to this, some of the more base women are going to bring these delusional broads back down to earth. I think they just like to be disagreeable. Maybe they do. Maybe they're just trying to keep it exciting, and they just want to disagree with Andrew just for the purposes of doing it. I don't understand. Maybe they don't understand what the terms valid and invalid means. The question was completely reasonable, totally understandable. The criterion of the question, very fairly, very reasonably laid out. What do you think men would think about you? Bunch of guys. You're hot. You're not hot. One is completely, my God, you need a bag over your head. You'd look better. Maybe the bag would be a tremendous improvement. Or 10, my God, they're gonna rip down the Mona Lisa and they're gonna put your face up in there. I don't know if they understand it. They may be still trying to figure out the answer to the question at this moment. So we'll be back with the next part of this whole Sisters Act when we come back on Flatline. Till then, remember to get busy living.